Hello, beautiful, dear hearts. Thank you so much for joining me on this Ascension Walk series episode. And this one is dedicated to releasing the outer reality. And I really would like to get deeper into this space. So, first, thank you so much for those of you that are returning back to my channel and watching this series every week and making your comments and resharing the videos. And those of you that are new, thank you so much as I welcome you to my channel. The dedication for this Ascension Walk series is really for individuals that are drawn to embody their ascension journey. That means they are here to alchemize it, to really walk it with that Christ light within. So that's what these topics are about, and I'll get right into it. So releasing the outside reality is a really big one. And this is for many of us. So many of us in this ascension journey, we've been drawn to everything on the outer, and that has served its purpose. For example, astrology has been a big one. Human design has been a big one. The gene codes has been a big one. The Chinese astrology, just trying to really find ourselves and to discover more of who we truly are. Then we've been drawn to everything esoteric and the occult. And then we've been drawn to, for example, various breath works and meditations and all of that. They're all so beautiful. They've served their purposes. And then, sometimes we get into these, for example, alignments of certain months with certain dates and all of that. And particularly so many crystals. Many of us love crystals, and that's been a big part of our life on the ascension journey. Then it's been certain communities, certain ways of eating, and all of these things have been part of it. And there comes a point where we arrive at this, what I call arrival point, where that remembrance within truly steps forward and recognizes that this is a temple where divine wants to house itself in. That great I am presence is ready to descend in this ascension, to embody and really be here. And for it to do that, it's going to come in and it's going to meet all kinds of things within the body. As it meets the body, there are energies in motion. It meets there are all kinds of resistances. It meets that too is part of it. And by coming back, the return back to self, it really is through the body. As it begins to meet the body, there becomes this slow process of kind of like unplugging from outside. From many of us begin unplugging from, for example, the TVs and magazines and a lot of, let's say, news and all of that. That started happening. Then we started plugging back from other things and plugging from colleagues and plugging from families and neighbors and some friendships, as we started to discover more of within what within wants to communicate. So coming in, we also begin noticing that we're not really putting our energy on the needs for, let's say, sacred geometry. They need to have, for example, sage. They need to have a crystal to function. They need to have the moon be in certain phases to function. They need for this and this. All these needs begin to disintegrate and just start to fall by the wayside. And the more we come in that breath, the more we come inside, the more we embrace that one truth, that presence within, we recognize everything is already part of all there is. And we begin to also starting to lose our sort of like need for the spirit guardians, the ancestors, the angels and ascended masters and the galactics. And in my case, for example, needing to do any kind of transmissions or activations or or speaking light language after many years. It's just, okay, so been there, done that. So many languages were brought in as transmission. I made the art, I did all of that. It starts to be like, they all serve their part and they're all so beautiful. And what is most significant is to be in this presence and that great I am awareness, that infinite consciousness, and discover more and more and more and more of that in its golden liquid light within, that is streaming to the different parts of the body that wants to reveal itself. So the energy begins to really be retracted from outside, this including all of these ideas about soul twins and twin rays or twin flames. Anything on the outside is like, no, 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 no. There's a divine perfection within, and I'm going to come back in where that source of supply is within. And in some religions, for example, they really taboo a lot of these things, but they're coming from fear. And they have a valid point. They're coming from this place that, okay, by themselves, these things are neutral, but the way people are using it through manipulations and controls and all of that, that takes place. And those who are walking this ascension embodiment, we see it also beyond that. We have no fear of them. They are neutral. And yes, people can use them however they do, but it doesn't touch us. And we certainly don't utilize it in that way. So, because there's only one principle, one cause, and that's the supreme that has contained everything in it, and everything is part of it. So there's nothing to fear. Thus, there's nothing to fight with. Thus, there's no overpowering, reclaiming anything, because it already is. So what begins to take place is this relaxation, harmonization in the body, and this joyous, gentle, yet so deep, grounded expression that knows itself, that sees that truth, that knows that side, and lives from there. It goes into the believing by being and living from that consciousness. So it becomes very self-directed by that great presence, and it doesn't need a medium on the outside. Certainly doesn't need any kind of religion, certainly doesn't need any kind of religious text or any of those things on the outside becomes non-relevant, because as it is within, so it is without. As it is above, so it is with below. Yet it is in that harmony, because that operating system is revealing from that lens and creating the reality on the outside. And it is very liberating in many, many ways. And you can be in the presence of these and just enjoy them, and there's zero attachment, and again, zero need, and really zero desire. The only desire becomes that joyous breath of that alignment, and how fulfilling, satisfying that feels, and how the true source of supply comes from there, and the creative energy then flows to express itself outwardly. And it's very interesting to me when individuals get so frightened by some of these things that are all from nature and or made, and they for them it sort of threatens their gods or their truth, because of entities or lesser vibrations that may manipulate their thinking. For me, when you're in this presence, when you were that omni essence, that one presence, there is no fear, because the idea that you even believe in, let's say, evil and say voodoo, black magic, that is in your consciousness, so you can create that reality. When you come here, you see it is free from that. So it cannot be manipulated and controlled because it doesn't exist as a vibration in which you're interacting with or embracing or allowing. It's the purity of that love that expresses itself. And from that place, you only, by that divine law principles of life, you only create the goodness and the greatness. It's just the law. It just is. So hopefully this message and this video, this episode supports you, and you can begin to enjoy more of the real you within you, and that presence that you already are, from that great I am awareness, through that inner Christ light that turns on, that sees clearly and becomes a divine sovereign being. And it's fully supplied from within, that walks this earth. And I look forward in hearing your comments and witnessing how many more of you have unplugged, because you just don't have the need or desire, and your language changes. That part of you has served its purpose, and it's now left behind. It's like a bodysuit. You've taken that out, left it behind, and there's this part of you is walking, and it is with its own authority and its own answers and its own divinity that is connected to everybody else and all creation. So have a blessed day, and thank you so much for watching.